when you look at it that way, I think it's another cause for suspicion that it's actually true that we can rapidly replace fossil fuels, which, mind you, provide 80% of the world's energy today and growing, with solar and wind, which provide only electricity, which is 20% of the world's energy, and they provide 3% of the world's overall energy, almost only in places where they are highly subsidized, mandated, or otherwise preferred by government, and always dependent on a controllable, reliable source of energy on a grid like fossil fuels, nuclear, or hydro. So if you just think of it as fossil fuels provide 80% of the world's energy in an energy-hungry world, and people are claiming in the next 28 years, we can rapidly eliminate fossil fuels and replace them with solar and wind that are complete parasites right now that depend on government, and they're going to provide all the world's energy, not just for the people who have it today, but for the billions more. Like, that should seem insane.
Yeah.
And in particular, this, I would argue, 2 years ago when I was writing this book, that was insane. Now it should seem totally insane because we have a little place called Europe. And what did Europe do? They said, oh, well, we can replace fossil fuels with solar and wind. It'll work great. So what do? They basically pay China mostly for a bunch of solar panels and wind turbines. And they shut down fossil fuel production. They basically banned fracking, the greatest energy technology of our generation. They don't care at all about imports from free countries because what? Fossil fuels are going to take care of them. Then what happened? Solar and wind are unreliable. They depend on reliable energy, in particular natural gas, which can cycle up and down to deal with their unreliability. And where does their natural gas come from? Not from them because they didn't think they needed it. It comes from Russia. Right. And because of that, so they're super insecure, but also because many others around the world have restricted the investment in fossil fuels, the production and the transport, we have a general supply shortage. So right now, the world is desperately short of fossil fuels, and Joe Biden is begging every dictator he can find to get them, and he also now has the gall to claim that he was never against fossil fuels, and he's done nothing to restrict them. So right. What this is showing is this idea that we can rapidly replace fossil fuels with solar and wind is just as implausible, is just as impossible as you would guess from this idea, oh yeah, energy-hungry world, 80% fossil fuels, we'll get rid of all the fossil fuels, and just solar and wind will do it. That never made any sense, and it's obviously wrong.